All right. Algebra 2, lecture 412 and 413, OAS A2N13. Student will evaluate the determinant of a 2 by 2 or a 3 by 3 matrix. Now 2 by 2, they have 2 rows, 2 columns. 3 by 3 has 3 rows, 3 columns. These are referred to as square matrices. If they have the same number of rows as they have columns, then they're said to be square matrices. Okay? I want to define a determinant because that's what we're going to be finding. So I'll define it real quick. Determinant is a real number that's associated with a square matrix, and that's all we need to know for now. We're going to be looking for a real number that's associated with a given matrix, and we'll use that in the next lecture to find the inverse of the matrix, and we'll use the inverse of a matrix to solve matrix equations. So we're going to build into this. So let's see how we find the determinant. We're looking for a real number associated with each of the following matrices. And here's how you find it if it's a 2 by 2. Pretty simple, straightforward stuff. We're going to find the determinant of this matrix. Oftentimes the determinant is denoted by just a bar that looks kind of like a absolute value symbol. You'll see it written like this often. And that means we're going to take the determinant of this matrix, okay? Here we go. So here's how you do it. In this case, you multiply these two together on the diagonal, and you put that number right here. 1 times -1 is -1. Then you write a minus sign. I'm going to fix my board real quick because my mark isn't hitting quite where it should be. That's going to drive me nuts throughout the course of this lecture. Sorry about this. Sometimes you got to do it. See if that works better. Okay, so we multiply these two together and put the product here. Then we multiply these two together. 5 times -2 is -10. Now don't forget, we put a minus sign here. So this is 5 times -2 is -10. And then we perform these operations. Well, this is -1. This double negative is a plus. So this is -1 plus 10. So the determinant is the number 9. There's our determinant. Okay? And let's see if I got that right. If I can find my answers. Yay, 9. Here's my answers. Calls for a slurp of coffee. Okay, so basically you multiply these two, put it here, write a minus sign. Multiply these two, put the product here, and then perform this operation. It's arithmetic, it's addition or subtraction. Okay, let's take a look at a 3 by 3. 2 by 2 is pretty simple. 3 by 3 is really not any more difficult. Instead of drawing the bars and rewriting this whole thing, I'll just go ahead and put DET out here. That means the determinant of this matrix. That's another way of saying it. And if it's a 3 by 3 matrix, which we have here, 3 rows, 3 columns, what we want to do is write these first 2 columns here and here. And we want the spacing to be as close to this spacing as we can get. So, like this is this far away, I want this to be right about here. 1, -3. Try to get that spacing correct. -4. It'll make what we're going to do here a little bit easier. And then we're going to write this one, -5, 0, 1. Want the spacing to be about the same. -5, 0, and 1. And once we get that done, we are ready to perform, to find the determinant. Here's how you do it. You multiply on this diagonal and this diagonal and this diagonal. This should always be 3. And you put the product of these here, here, and here, like this. 1 times 0 times -3 is 0. You write a plus sign. -5 times -5 is 25 times -4 is -100. We put that right here. And then we're going to go 5 times -3 times 1, that's -15. Oops, I forgot to put a plus sign. Plus -15. All right, so what we've done so far is we've multiplied on these diagonals and written the product. That's what you get when you multiply. Here, here, and here. And we put a plus sign in between every one of them. Now, when we go to add these together, well, bear in mind the plus and negative is just the same thing as a minus sign. And then I write, this is really important, put a minus sign here and a parenthesis, and we're going to do the same thing we just did, except we're going to be multiplying these diagonals. This one, this one, this one. We'll put those here, here, and here, doing exactly the same thing we just did. I'm going to scooch all of this over just a little bit so I don't run out of board. Okay. So here we go. I'll go ahead and do it in blue. I put a minus sign after these three, open the parentheses, and here we go. -4 times 0 times 5 is 0, plus, I'll put that here. 1 times -5 times 1 is -5. I'll put that here, -5. And then -3 times -3 is 9 times -5 is -45. Close that, and then I performed this arithmetic, and I found the determinant of this original matrix right here if I haven't made any arithmetic mistakes. So let's see what I get here. I get 0 plus -100 plus -15. That's -115. That's an awful big minus sign. Kind of creepy. Then I write the word minus, or I write the symbol minus. And 0 plus -5 plus -45, or minus, that should have been plus -45, but it's the same thing as minus 45. This will give me -50, or minus -50, minus -50. And this gives me -115 plus 50. And that is, I think that's 65. It's early in the morning, so I'm going to make sure I didn't goober it up. Let's see. -115 plus 50 is, yeah, it's -65. And that's our determinant. Let me check and see if that's right before I go any further. -65, yay. Okay, so in a nutshell, the first thing we did was we wrote these two columns right here and here. And that will enable us to multiply on the diagonal, place these products. You're going to multiply and place the product here, multiply on this. Now this is from over here. Place that product right here, plus sign in between it. We write a plus sign, place that product there, and then we put a minus sign with a parenthesis, and we perform these multiplications and add these values together. Whatever we get when we multiply these together, we add them all together, which was -50. We have this mess minus this mess. So we had -115 minus, and this turned out to be -50. So that's -115 plus 50, which in this case was -65. And that is how you find the determinant of a 3 by 3. And those were our objectives. Going to evaluate the determinant of a 2 by 2, which is pretty straightforward. Multiply on the diagonal here, write a minus sign, multiply on the diagonal here. Don't forget this minus sign here, that's very important. Okay. For a 3 by 3, you write these two columns over again, try to get the spacing right so the diagonals are nice and straight. And then you multiply these diagonals and put the products here, here, and here and add them together, and then write a minus sign, open a parenthesis, multiply these products, put them here, here, and here, and close the parenthesis. In this case, we got negative 115 minus negative 50. Okay, so don't forget that minus sign. You can do this.